Here you see one hand and half sword made by Deltin, the Italian sword maker. The number of it is 2143 and it's based on the models of mid 14th century. And I'm going to explain this sword more in detail. And I need to mention that this sword is one of my favorites for different reasons. First of all, as you can tell, this is meant for mainly for thrusting, for armored combat, and also it can cut very well. The example you see here in front of you has a sharpened blade, so its blade was sharpened professionally, and it weighs 1,752 grams, so 1752 grams, 1,752 grams. On the Deltin side, it indicates that the weight is 1,700 grams, so a bit lighter on Deltin side, but mine is 1,000. What you see here, I mean, is 1,752 grams. The length of it is 119.5 centimeters, the one you see here, and the length of the blade is 94.2 centimeters, and the width of the blade at the base is 5 centimeters, and in the middle is 3.7. So it goes to a point, and this point is also the tip, which is also strengthened. I mentioned that I really like this sword, and I'm going to explain why. It is not an exact copy or replica of a particular historical piece, but it is an approximation of a generic type of sword that was used at the 14th century, for example, based on Deltin, in the 14th century Battle of Crécy. Back then, during that time, armor was being more and more improved, and plate was becoming more and more integrated. So a higher value was placed on the thrusting capabilities as well. So this sword is based on that, as you can see in many paintings from that warfare, from that battle. So it has a stout, tapered blade, and you can easily thrust with that. And that's also a very good thing. So it has a stiff diamond cross section, and you can easily use it, I'm sure, in an armored combat as well. What is important for me to point out is, although this sword, what you see here, weighs 1,752 grams, because the point of balance of it is close. It is very quick sword, although it might seem that it weighs a lot. You can easily hold it in with one hand, as you can see it here. This weapon can be held in motion and very easily, one-handed, two-handed. It is fast, agile, and a very strong one. I'm going to show later on cutting tests. You can see that it cuts as very well, hard grain tatami omote as well. And this is, you can use, this has a long quillions. It has long quillions or crossguard, which makes it also, because of this length, it is very provides a good protection. You can flourish with it, you can do solo trainings with it, you can cut with it, you can also use it in armored combat. But it doesn't mean that it can be used only in armored combat, because it's a very agile blade. As I mentioned it before, it can be used easily also in unarmored combat, I assure you. I remember reading different views on that, or reviews on that, and they were all positive on this sword. It has, like other Deltin blades, chrome vanadium steel, And if you go and take a look at its handle, the handle is wooden, as a wooden part, which is covered with black leather, and as you can see, in one part it has a cord below the leather, right? And I really like the pommel. The pommel is faceted and it can be used easily also as a mace, and the base of the blade is unsharpened. The base, you can see it, and this is because you can use it for half swording, right? And then it has a central fuller and two fullers next to the unsharpened area of the blade. If you take a look at the unsharpened area of the blade, you can see that those extra fullers run through that ricasso, and when the main fuller starts, when they stop, these two side fullers, then the blade starts to be sharpened. As I mentioned it before, the blade is sharpened professionally. I really like this sword and this blade, and it just follows every move you want to do with this. Close to the point, it's not sharpened because I wanted to leave that stout point for thrusting, of course, for thrusting in armored combat, but the rest of it is sharp and you can easily cut with this blade. Stress that it is a very agile blade. I really like it, and it is a top contender in my opinion for armored combat, unarmored combat, cutting test, and flourishing and free flows. This is one of the best swords, 1.5 swords, or even among two-handed swords I've ever handled. Thank you for visiting my channel. Please subscribe to my channel and ask any questions you have.